Welcome students, welcome to the class of construction management and technology. So we are into our unit 2, that is nothing but which deals about optimization of the various activities. So in today's class we will see the details about project cost. We'll see the details about project cost, project time acceleration, cost time analysis in network planning. Okay, this three we will be looking into detail. In today's class we'll focus on project cost, project time acceleration and cost time analysis in network planning. So on these three concepts we shall see in detail in today's lecture. So let us start with project cost. Let us start with project cost. Project cost is broadly divided into two, that is nothing but direct cost and indirect cost. What do we mean by project cost? Project cost is nothing but it is a total amount, the total capital invested on a completion of a building or whatever the thing you are constructing. Okay, so whatever capital you invest, whatever finances you collect for your project, it is spent under two heads, that is nothing but direct cost and indirect cost. So direct cost is nothing but it consists of expenditures which are chargeable to and can be identified specially with the activities of the project. Example, material cost, labor cost, etc. So the direct cost, what do we mean by direct cost is nothing but the expenses which are chargeable, which you are spending directly. Suppose you are buying cement for an project construction, so you what do? You physically or it is what understandable that you are buying the cement, you assume that before only I need cement for the construction of my project, or I need this resources for my construction of my project, which are chargeable directly. Okay, which you already had account of those expenses, that comes under direct cost, which are chargeable to and can be identified, which are identified. This one is the most important thing. In the chargeable thing, direct costs are already identified. What do we mean by direct costs are identified? Which are known to us before, known to us before, known to us before. Direct costs are known to us before. Whereas the definition of indirect cost is as follows. Indirect cost is it consists of expenditures which cannot be clearly allocated to individual activities of the project. Okay, what are indirect costs? It consists of expenditures which cannot be clearly allocated. This is the major difference between direct cost and indirect cost. What is the major difference between direct cost and indirect cost? Direct costs are already identified. Direct costs are these are identified, whereas indirect costs are not clearly defined. Indirect costs are not clearly defined, which may occur suddenly. Okay, it consists of the expenditures which cannot be clearly allocated to individual activities of the project. Example, establishment charges, insurance charges, administration charges, etc. So let us see in detail what all the things that are involved in direct cost and indirect cost in details. Let us see those things in details. Direct cost. Direct costs are broadly classified as manpower. Okay, the money which we spend for manpower. Okay, the money which is spent for procuring of material, the money which we spend for employing of machinery. This all comes under direct cost. Okay, direct cost can be broadly classified into three categories. Those are nothing but manpower category, material category and machinery category. In manpower category, that is nothing but the money which you pay to your subcontractor for the execution of the work. The money which you pay to your subcontractor for the execution of the work comes under direct cost. The next is departmental. What do we mean by departmental things? That is nothing but the money which you pay for your supervisors as a salaries and all. Okay, the money which you pay for your supervisors and other things, other procurement things, that comes under departmental expenses. Whereas in the materials category, basic materials, for example, what are our basic materials? Cement, sand, aggregate are our basic. Cement, sand, aggregates, steel, etc. These are nothing but basic material. What are consumables? Consumables are nothing but supporting materials required for construction. Those comes under consumables. Okay, when we go for the machinery, some of the machinery which we own by ourselves and some we hire. What we hire, for example, for laying concrete we hire RMC, so that machine equipment charges we need to give. What we own, suppose we own some pumps, we own drill machines, etc. Okay, these are nothing but our own machinery. So whatever money which you are spending for all these things related to manpower, materials and machinery, this comes under the direct cost. Let us see what all costs involved in indirect cost. So indirect cost, majorly indirect cost is classified into two, that is nothing but variable cost and fixed cost. Indirect cost is of two types, that is, the first is variable cost and other is fixed cost. So what all comes under variable cost? The first is staff expenses. Okay, staff expenses in the sense whatever labor, suppose you have a supervisor or you have assistant engineer on your side, so those comes under staff expenses. Supervisor salary, assistant engineer salary. We have watchmen also. Okay, watchman, this all comes under staff expenses, their salaries. Okay, labor expenses, we have some daily labors associated with this, or we need to pay the monthly expenses for the labors, so those also comes under wages and their daily wages or some extra works which we carried out with the help of the labors comes under labors expenses. PF and other items. What do we mean by PF? Provident fund and other items which are associated with our employees. Suppose there in the organization number of staffs are working, there will be different categories of the their wages includes of various things, medical insurance, provident fund. Okay, so those comes under PF and other items. Welfare expenses, just now I have talked about welfare expenses of the employees. Okay, or it can be of project also. Other rates and taxes, some GST charges and other charges which are included on various items of the construction materials comes under that all extra taxes comes under other rates and taxes. Water and power charges, electricity bill, okay, and water charges, this all comes under variable cost. Conveyance expenses, what do we mean by conveyance expenses? Either we are transporting, suppose whatever materials comes, that has to that will be where it will be deposited on the ground floor, so we need to convey it to the first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor and subsequent floors, so the conveyance expenses. Okay, OPE, what do we mean by overhead project expenses? OPE in the sense overhead project expenses. In last class we have talked about overhead expenses. Overhead expenses are nothing but hidden charges. Suppose if there is any accidents occurred at the site, so that comes under overhead expenses. Hire and rental charges, sometimes you hire a machinery or you have various equipments that has to be hired. Okay, or you'll be having a loading trucks, loading and unloading trucks you'll be hiring, so you need to give their rental charges as well, so those also comes under hire and rental charges. Postage and stationery that is required, this all comes under variable cost, whereas indirect cost has also other major category which is nothing but fixed cost. Mostly the fixed cost is of infrastructure, fixed cost is of infrastructure. For example, we need to take for construction of the building, we need to take the permission from the local authority, municipal authority. So how much expenses that going to be occur, we are not clear with that. So those all comes under indirect cost. Those all comes under indirect cost. So generally, if we see the project cost on cost versus time relationship, if we see project cost under time versus cost relationship, time on x axis, on cost on y axis, the variance of direct cost is as follows. The variance of direct cost is as follow. As the time is less, okay, as the time is less, as the project time is very less, what happens? The direct cost increases. The direct cost increases. Look at this point. At the lesser time, if the time is less, what happens to the direct cost? It is of increased value. As the time increases, as the project time increases, what happens to the direct cost? It decreases. It decreases to one optimum value and slightly increases, This is nothing but the relationship of cost versus time, relationship with direct cost. Okay, as the time increases, what happens to the direct cost? As the time increases, direct cost, what happens? It decreases. Direct cost is decreases. And when we see the relationship of indirect cost, okay, as the time is less at the initial stages of the project, if the time is less, what happens to the initial indirect cost? It is also less. As the time increases, what is happening to the indirect cost? Indirect cost is increasing. As time is increasing, indirect cost is also increasing. What is this relationship? How this happens? See, as the project time increases, the various expenses associated to the salary of the workers, supervisors, watchmen, electricity bill, water charges and all, it tends to increase. So that is the reason why indirect cost increases as the time is increased. So when we see this, what is happening? As the time is increasing, indirect cost as the time is increasing, direct cost is decreasing. As the time is increasing, what is happening to the indirect cost? It is increasing. So when we, this is nothing but direct cost, this is nothing but indirect cost. So when we club these two, okay, we'll get a logarithmic curve. At one point, we'll be getting the minimum, optimum direct cost and optimum. At this point, if we club these two, at this point we have minimum direct cost, we have minimum indirect cost, okay, which together mean we have minimum or optimum cost versus optimum time. We have optimum cost and optimum time. So the total cost is nothing but direct cost plus indirect cost. If we draw the total cost curve, see, we get the value as follows. This is nothing but total cost curve. How we are getting this total cost curve? Total cost curve we are getting by this curve, we are getting by adding direct cost plus indirect cost. So if we add these two, okay, the result of these two graphs is nothing but total cost graph. The result of this graph is nothing but total cost graph. Okay, now next topic is project acceleration. The next topic we talk about is project acceleration. What do we mean by project acceleration? What are the reasons for project time acceleration? Okay, what are the main reasons for project time acceleration? The contractor may wish to achieve the job completion by a certain date to avoid adverse weather, to beat the annual spring runoff, to free workers and equipments for other work. So in this process, the financial arrangements may be such that it is necessary to finish certain work within a prescribed fiscal period. The prime contractor may wish to consummate the project ahead of time to receive an early completion bonus from the owner. The project work schedules must be adjusted to accommodate adverse job circumstances. Revisions are often essential to meet contract time requirements. On a job in progress, the owner may desire an earlier completion date than originally called for by a contractor and may request the contractor quote a price for expediting the work. Generally, what happens is at the initial of the project, a time is agreed. Suppose the project is going to complete in 40 days. So, in some case, what happens due to the from contractor sides or owner side, what does contractor tries to do? The contractor tries to complete this in 32 days instead of 40 days. Why? Because if he complete the work early in 8 days, his labors will be free. The equipment charges which he is bearing will come under his profit. And moreover, what happens in certain contractual agreements, if the contractor finished the work before the called off period or proposed period, that is of 40 days, if he complete the work before the earlier estimated time, if he completes the work before that time with good quality, with as quality as prescribed earlier, some contractors in the government works or in public sector works, what happens, they give some sort of bonus for completing, early completion bonus also. Okay, sometimes what happens to get that bonus and or sometimes what happens from the owner side, owner want to execute the work more faster than the earlier decided dates. So there also what happens, the contractor has to complete the project before than the estimated date. So it will be a bonus for contractor as well. As if the pressure is from owner side, the contractor will be charging more money for that. If it is from his side only, what he do, okay, what he does, he gets the benefits from resources of machinery and all. From such things he'll get those resources. So for that, what should be done is the project work schedules must be adjusted to accommodate adverse job circumstances. What happens, the activities which has to be scheduled. Okay, this point is important in that scenario. Project work schedules must be adjusted. We need to adjust the project work schedule so that what happens during the execution of the job, we could meet the exact deadlines. Okay, we could meet the exact deadlines and finish that work at the proper time. So that comes under project acceleration. Cost time analysis in a network planning. So first is TN. What is TN? It is nothing but normal time. It is a time performing for an activity with the normally available resources. The next is normal cost. What do we mean by normal cost? These denotions are important. The symbols for normal time or denotions for normal time and these denotions are very much important. Normal time, TN, normal cost, CN. What do we mean by normal cost? It is the minimum direct cost when the activity is performed in normal time duration. When we have, this is about, suppose the estimated time for completion of the project is 50 days and we are completing it in 50 days. Estimated time was 50 days. For 50 days we have normal time and normal cost. What is normal time? Here in this scenario, this 50 days becomes normal time, and money whichever associated with this project for completion it for 50 days, that all comes under normal cost. Suppose this 50-day work has to be completed in 30 days. Suppose this 50 days work has to be completed in 30 days, then other two factors comes, that is nothing but crashing. We call this converting 50 days, completing 50 days work in 30 days. We call it as crashing. Reducing project time by expending additional resources. Okay, we need to, so this is nothing but crashing, completing 50 days of work in 30 days by expending additional resources. What do we mean by additional resources over here? Additional manpower. Okay, additional manpower, additional resources, resources such as whatever materials that are consumed in an project duration, cement, sand, whatever it is, additional machinery. So this all we together we call it as expending additional resources, expending additional resources. Then we have crash time. It is the minimum time in which activity can be performed. Crash time is nothing but the minimum activity in which an activity can be performed. We have next is crash cost. Crash cost is nothing but it is a direct cost corresponding to the crash time. Direct cost corresponding to the crash time. Activity crashing. How we do the activity crashing? Remember, time is always on x axis and cost is always on y axis. Okay. Suppose if you plot a graph, normal time and normal cost, we get a normal activity. If we plot a graph of crashing cost and crash time, we get it as crashing activity. Okay. This is the plot of normal graph, normal cost and normal time. For a normal activity, we will be having normal cost and normal time. For a crashing activity, we have crash cost and crash time. So if we take the slope of normal activity and crashing activity, we call it as crash cost slope per unit time. If we take this slope, we call it as crash cost per unit time. So the formula for rate of crashing or rate of slope is nothing but it is the ratio of difference between crash and normal cost to the difference between normal and crash time. So we denote with cost to slope. The formula for what is the cost to slope? Cost slope is equal to, okay, crash cost minus normal cost divided by normal time minus crash time. Normal time minus crash time. This is the formula for cost to slope. Okay. The next is cost optimization. How to optimize cost for an given activity. This is the direct cost. As we have seen in previous slide also, as the time increases, what happens? Direct cost decreases. This is the indirect cost. As the time increases, indirect cost increases. If we combine these two, we get the total cost curve. Total cost is nothing but it is sum of direct cost and indirect cost. The curve of total cost is as follows. Here we have got total cost. At one time, okay, at one point in this total cost, we have the minimum cost and minimum time. Okay. At this point, what we have? We have minimum total cost and optimal project time. So this point is known as optimization point. This point is known as optimization time. So what is optimized cost? The curve for total cost has a point where the tangent is horizontal. At this point, the total cost is minimum and is called optimum cost. The time duration corresponding to the optimum cost is called optimum time. So at this project, what happens? There is a optimum cost and optimum time. So every activity or every project has to be designed at this point to get the optimum time and optimum cost of the project. Optimum time and optimum cost of the project. The cost optimization depends on the following thing. It is nothing but rate of crashing or cost to slope, critical path of a network, indirect cost, project time reduction. How to reduce the project time? Okay. The variety terms used for the process for shortening project time durations are least cost expediting, project compression and time cost trade off. Okay. These all three words means the same, which is nothing but project time reduction. What do we mean? For 50 days of completion of project, instead of 50 days we are completing it in 30 days. So this phenomena is known as project time reduction, and this also called by this names: least cost expediting, project compression, or time cost trade off. Next, on this cost optimization, we have following questions: which activity to be expedited to reduce the total project time? Okay, first of all, which activity we should begin or complete it expedited? What do we mean by expedited? Complete it fast. Okay, the time required to reach any future network, event, terminal, or otherwise is determined by the longest time, that is nothing but critical path from the current stage of the project advancement to that event. So activities when the date of project completion is to be advanced, it is the network critical path that must be shortened. As we know that critical path is the longest path in a project network. So if we expedite the critical path, or if we shorten the critical path, the project duration may be shortened. When the longest path is shortened, the float of other activity paths leading to the same event are reduced commensurately. Continued shortening of the original critical path will lead sooner or later to the formation of new critical paths and new critical activities. When multiple critical paths are involved, all such paths must be shortened simultaneously if the desired time advancement of the event is to be achieved. So what sequence to be followed in activity crashing? And least cost slope activities, we should first start with the crashing. So this is nothing but the procedure. Which activity has to be expedited first? That is nothing but critical path. We have to focus on critical path. First of all, we need to shorten this critical path. If we shorten this critical path, automatically what happens? Project time will reduce. In this course of time, we will be getting multiple critical paths, but when we get the multiple critical path, we need to see that such path must be shortened simultaneously. This is one more path. Such paths must be shortened simultaneously. This we need to look after that. Okay, we have some procedure to determine the crashing of procedure for cost optimization. That is nothing but, first of all, from the total cost from the network, determine the total cost from network of normal durations. Then next, what we need to do is we need to calculate the slope, cost to slope of all activities. Next, starting with the network for normal duration, crash the critical activity having the least cost to slope first. So whose cost to slope is least, we need to start crashing from that activity. Redraw the network considering the above crashing and determine the project duration and total cost. Successively crash critical activities and determine respective project time, duration and total cost. Determine the total cost for all maximum crash network. So this is about tabulate the project time durations corresponding total cost and draw the total cost versus time curve. This will be, if we draw this total cost versus time curve, the diagram will be as follows. This is time, this is cost. The diagram will be as follows. So this optimum time and optimum cost, this becomes optimum time, this becomes optimum cost. So in the next class we shall see one application problem on this subject. Okay, in the next class we shall see a numerical example on cost optimization. I hope you people have understood this cost optimization thing. Okay, thank you.